My mom's birthday is in a week, so let's make her a sweater. A couple months ago, I started knitting this quarter zip sweater for my mom's birthday. And as I'm recording now, there is a week up until her birthday. So far, I have hooked under the arms and I'm working on the body. This is the Zipper Sweater Man by Petite Knit. I will link it below, and then I'm using Drops Big Merino. So yeah, let's get to work on this and try to get it done by her birthday. So for the ribbing, I used, well, for the collar and ribbing, I'm using a 4.5mm needle, and then for the body and the sleeves of the sweater, I'm using a 5mm needle. And I already had the Zipper Sweater Man pattern because I made my husband one, so I just measured my gauge and chose a size that would get me the right measurements for my mom. So I did have to do a little math, but I know she does have a pattern tailored towards women's sizes. I just didn't want to buy a second one when they're very similar, so I just did a little math. So let's hope this turns out to fit her.
Cry in the wind as I wade into the delta, shotgun in my hand, knowing I'll never see you again.
Alright, last night I got to the length that the body needed to be. I believe it was about 20 or 21 inches. And now I am starting the ribbing. Alright, so I just finished knitting the ribbing on the body portion. I believe I did 14 rows of the ribbing, so, and it's measuring about 2 3/4 inches. Let's see. Yeah, about 2 3/4. And now I'm going to start the setup rounds for the Italian bind off.
Okay, I know it doesn't look like it, but everything is.
Just finished the first 2 rounds of the setup. Now I need to repeat those 2 rounds one more time, and then we'll get to casting off. Okay, that's the end of the setup rounds. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get a needle and maybe trim this a little. There's not much left, but I think it's still a little too long. And let's get to binding off these stitches. Okay, now that this is bound off and not scrunched up on my needles anymore, I can try it on finally. Because this whole time I've been worried that it is going to be too small. Here's what the back's looking like. Pretty plain, it's just plain stockinette, but. So, let's see. Oh, no, there's plenty of room on me. I would think it would be just about right, and I would think it'll relax a little after I block it too. So hopefully it's long enough would be the only thing, but other than that, I think it's gonna be pretty good. Here's what the back looks like. Let's get started on some sleeves. I went ahead and picked up all the stitches on one of the sleeves. Now I'm going to cut this waist yarn. Remove it. My needles are a little too long, so I'm gonna have to do magic loop for the whole sleeve, which is fine. So now I'm gonna pick up some stitches here and just start knitting, decreasing every once in a while, and then I'll check back in when I've made some progress. Okay, I'm gonna finish up these last stitches, then I gotta go to work, and we will pick this back up later today when I get home. Try this on. Let's see. So that's the length. And then I'm gonna add ribbing, so it should be just about right, I would think. Okay, let's start the ribbing. Okay, so I went ahead and knit the length needed for the ribbing now. For the cuff on the sleeve. This is what the whole sleeve looks like. So this is the whole sleeve, looking pretty good. And then the cuff. So now what I'm gonna do is knit the setup rounds for the Italian bind off just like I did on the bottom. And then I'm gonna bind off the cuff and go ahead and get started on the second sleeve. Okay, the setup rounds for the Italian bind off are done. So now I'm gonna go ahead and bind this off. I'm gonna leave myself a good amount of yarn, even some extra cut. Anyways, let's go ahead and bind this off. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try this on now that the first sleeve is done, just to make sure everything's looking good. Yeah, perfect. Okay. I can see a few stitch inconsistencies, and I think that's just a me problem, like a tension issue. I'm hoping blocking will fix that. I do expect it to relax and grow a little bit after I block, but overall I think the fit's gonna be pretty good. Sleeve length is just about perfect. If it grows a little, it won't be a problem. So yeah, let's go ahead and start on the second sleeve. After the second sleeve, the only thing we have left is a zipper facing. Yeah, then we'll block it, sew in a zipper, and call it good. So let's keep going.
Because it was made with, you know, the set in mind, but I'm very, very pleased. The second version that I do, I want to make it oversized because
Okay, it is like 11:30 now, and I think I'm gonna call it a night. I just finished the second sleeve, so, and I weaved in those ends. You can see all my stitch markers from my marking my decreases. Try this on and just show you. I was actually hoping to knit the zipper facings tonight, but I'm tired. I think I might, because I wanted to block it. Oh, it's looking really good. I wanted to block it with the zipper facings so the facings could get blocked as well. But I don't know if I have it in me to knit the facings tonight. So I think I might just soak it while I get ready for bed. And then I'll lay it out to dry overnight, and tomorrow I'll knit the facing and sew in the zipper. And we should be good. Here's the back. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. Basically all I have to knit is the zipper facing and then sew in a zipper. So I'm gonna block it tonight. I'll show you guys that. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this thing up tomorrow. Okay, I have the sweater laying out here. I might fiddle with it a little bit more, but for now, this is just how it's gonna have to be. I am a little concerned with this bottom ribbing. See how see-through it is? So I contemplated sizing down a needle size, and I didn't because the pattern didn't say to. But I did use a smaller needle size up here, and it looks better, although this is folded double, so maybe not a good comparison, but so I'm a little concerned with this. Let's see, I guess these kind of look that way too. So there's not really anything I can do about it now. This is just what it's gonna have to be now. I'm kind of worried about the fitting now, but let's just hope that once it dries, it's gonna be all right. All right, it's the next morning. I ended up flipping this early this morning to try and let the backside dry. The ribbing's looking better now that it's a little dry, but it is still kind of loose. I think it's okay on the body because you don't want this cinched in a ton anyway. And the sleeves seem even better. So I think we're gonna be okay. Now that it's dry and I'm really looking at it, I feel like it's not as huge as it seemed when it was wet and just loosey-goosey. So I'm feeling a little better. Anyway, I need to let this dry a little more before I can knit the zipper facings and sew in the zipper. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go pick out a zipper, get everything ready, and probably work on another project just until I can finish this one up. All right, so this still is a little damp, but I'm just gonna go ahead and knit on it while it dries. I'm gonna try not to let it hang or stretch too much while I do this. But at the same time, leaving it spread out enough that airflow can get through. So these are the two purple zippers that I have. I feel like it makes more sense to go with the lighter one. I'm hoping it doesn't show very much anyways. Now I need to knit on both sides a little 5-stitch zipper facing, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Here is the collar. My zipper facing, it's pretty curled right now. I'm actually gonna weave in these ends before I sew it down. Did I? Oh, it's flipped. Oh crap. Or no. Okay, whew. I thought I knit it twisted. Okay, these were the other threads I found. I don't know, I kind of feel like this gray would blend in better. And if we do like a thin, like that, I think the gray is gonna blend in better. Let's go with gray. here is the sweater after blocking. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Obviously the arms grew. I don't know if you can see. They're almost past my hands, but sometimes people like their sweaters like that, so I don't think it's a bad thing. The body did grow a little and I think it's perfect now. Yeah, and then here's what it looks like zipped up. There's a chance I might put some elastic in this collar because it is kind of stretching out. But I might ask my mom after I give it to her what she prefers and then go from there. So all that's left is to weave in some ends and then take out these stitch markers. And then I'm gonna wrap it up and give it to my mom for her birthday tomorrow. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel for more. Yeah, I'll try to include my mom's reaction and some pictures of her wearing it at the end of this video. Bye guys.